When the Kansas City Chiefs were facing off against the Arizona Cardinals, I had my questions. When we talk about both teams having a lot of talent, both teams obviously being playoff teams last year, but the Arizona Cardinals, I got to be real. It's just, I don't know. I knew that once they lost Nuke Hopkins for the first 6 games of the season, I knew it was going to be rough to try to replace that type of production because let's be real. Nuke Hopkins is that dude. In fact, I would say he's arguably the best wide receiver in the entire NFL, and honestly, it's probably not even close if I'm being honest. So, as we go along here, I really want to make sure that, when we talk about the latest editions of Standouts and FIZZOUTS, because Pop or Soda, yes, that everybody's got their own edition of winners and losers, rises and fallers. Ours is Standouts and FIZZOUTS because Pop or Soda, we think it's the best thing since sliced bread, and we're going to talk about Standouts and FIZZOUTS for the Kansas City Chiefs versus Arizona Cardinals game. So, as we go along here, there's a lot of different things you got to take away from this. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're the team to beat. I don't think you can debate that at this point in terms of the AFC, or at least in the conversation. Like, they're just such a talented offensive team, and defense, their defense gets it done, that it's tough. You got Chris Jones, George Karlaftis, I think is going to have a big rookie year. Was it Justin Reed who can kick as well? So, there's so many different things that this Chiefs offense and team can really do. And, it started with Patrick Mahomes. Like, do you remember the guys here? I'm going to bring it back here too. It's like, do you remember the guys in high school or the girls in high school that were just perfect, that were just so good at something that it was frustrating, that they were the most talented people, the most beautiful people, and it was just, no matter what they did, they were just always so good at it, and it frustrated you? Yeah, I do too. That's exactly what Patrick Mahomes is. Patrick Mahomes is the high school perfect dude of the NFL, or something equivalent to that. I mean, the dude literally threw a touchdown by doing an underhand throw of like 8 inches. He literally moved his arm 8 inches and threw a touchdown pass. It was just, it's frustrating. It really is when he's that good. I think that in the Colin Cowherd show, I think they were talking about it with Sean Payton, that he literally reminds him of Brett Favre. Like, he's just that eccentric. He's just that amazing. And Patrick Mahomes finished the game 30 of 39 for 360 yards and 5 touchdowns. Literally, it looked like he didn't even break a sweat. So obviously, the first standout is Patrick Mahomes. After that, it's just, it all rises and falls with Patrick Mahomes. So if he has a good game, you can bet everybody else is going to have a good game. But, Isaiah Pacheco, also had a strong game. A lot of really nice runs there late in the game. 12 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I really do think he is the guy that is going to be the X factor here. Because, yes, you've got a stable of young, talented running backs, or of talented running backs. But at the same time, you've got 3 or 4 of them. So no one guy is going to be that guy. It's going to be Pacheco, CEH. Okay, sorry, acronyms aren't for everybody. Jerick McKinnon, who honestly, I wish the Vikings wouldn't have let him go, but it is what it is. And then, yes, also in the receiving core, yes, all those running backs are standouts, obviously. Travis Kelce definitely continues to be a standout. 8 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire also added 2 touchdowns, via receiving as well. Would he have over 70 total yards and 2 touchdowns? Yes, absolutely incredible. He caught that shovel pass that was like an 8-inch flick by Patrick Mahomes, and he also caught that, that flare out on 3rd or 4th down. I can't remember, but yes, it's just, even another guy, Sky Moore, definitely a standout there. It's just, you're not going to find a lot of fizzouts for the Chiefs. You're really not, just because of how they played against the Cardinals. I mean, they were up 30 at one point, and it wasn't close. I know the score makes it seem closer than it was, to be honest with you. So, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'm really waiting for those guys to blow up, because you got Travis Kelce, you got all these different weapons for the Chiefs, and then Sky Moore, baby. Oh, baby, he's going to be something big. He really absolutely is. And then McCole Hardman also added 3 catches for 16 yards and a touchdown. So defensively, Nick Bolton's just a stud, 10 total tackles for the Chiefs. L'Jarius Sneed had that sack, and it was solid in coverage all, for the most part. And then also Carlos Dunlap. I mean, and we'll get to the Cardinals in just a second, but you want to talk about fizz out. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray holding the ball too long. I know he's trying to scrabble, trying to make plays. It doesn't look good sometimes. I know he's trying to make plays, but at the same time, you got to be able to throw the ball away, or at least, take off and run, but at the end of the day, it's a tough team against the Chiefs. You don't have your number 1 wide receiver, so it is a tough thing all around. So, also, Tershawn Wharton also added a sack for the Chiefs. George Karlaftis, relatively quiet Slide had a tackle as well. But, I think defensively, the Chiefs, they're not amazing. Like, they're not a top 10 defense, but they're good enough to get the job done. And I think that's exactly what they need. If you've got all these weapons on offense when you can put up 30 points a game, you don't need to usually do a lot defensively. Just don't allow 31 points. So, honestly, Sky Moore just continues to impress me in terms of punt and kickoff returns. Also, had in my mind, it just that 30-yard reception really just added to what I think he's going to be with the Chiefs. Just another weapon for him. So the Kyler Murray we kind of touched on a little bit before. I get the fact that you don't have your number one wide receiver, and I get the fact that your offensive line, like, it's not amazing, but it's good enough to where you can scramble and make plays. At the same time, though, if you're the leader of this franchise, the guy that just signed a major contract with the Cardinals, you have to rise above it. Yeah, finished 22 of 34 for 193 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, it was like the Chiefs were playing checkers and the Cardinals were playing Monopoly, or chess, or whatever you want to say, whatever board game that caused your family to fight the most growing up. But honestly, it was just a very different game for both teams because the Chiefs just couldn't be stopped, and the Arizona Cardinals, for that matter, just had a tough time getting anything going. And when Kyler Murray's your leading rusher with 5 carries for 29 yards, and James Conner, I will give all the love and respect to that man, 10 carries, 26 yards, and a touchdown, but it was a tough day getting the run game started, and once they fell behind early, you really started to rely on Kyler Murray. The defense, and that's the thing for the Cardinals, it doesn't need to be impressive, it doesn't need to be top 10 necessarily. It would help Kyler Murray out, obviously, but if that defense can get figured out to a point where it is top 10, I mean, the Cardinals could be a very dangerous team, especially when they get Nuke Hopkins back. Greg Dortch also added 7 catches for 63 yards. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, 4 catches for 43 yards and a touchdown. I'm not trying to be rude here, but he needs to have a bigger impact if he's going to be the number one wide receiver, or at least be, if the Cardinals are going to at least win half of their games with a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, then I feel like he really needs to step up. But it's, it is tough too, again, when you talk about Kyler Murray, running for his life, or at least trying to extend plays. At some point, I've gotten to the point where I don't care if Kyler Murray has 12 carries in a game anymore. Like, especially with Nuke out this year, I don't care. If you have 10, 12 carries, but you're getting positive yards and you're extending drives and you're keeping teams like the Chiefs off the field, like with Patrick Mahomes and all them, yes, I'm okay with that. It's definitely going to keep the game close. It's going to extend drives. It's going to give you more chances to score as well. So, I would really like to see Kyler Murray tuck some of those a little bit more. So, and slide, of course, but, usually when you have a running quarterback, it's usually harder on their body, but I would appreciate if, I think it would be good for the offense to design more potential run plays around him. And then, also Zach Ertz also added a touchdown for the Cardinals. But, when we talk about fizzouts, again, it's really hard to find some for the Chiefs. I would say Kyler Murray was a fizzout. I hate to say it. I love him. I think he's the franchise quarterback there that the Cardinals have been waiting for. But, again, if you're the franchise guy, you need to be able to elevate your team against that type of talent. And on paper, the Chiefs are clearly more talented just on paper in terms of their offensive line is better, their defense is better, their receiving core. I mean, that one's kind of a toss-up for me, to be honest with you, because once Nuke is back, you got Nuke, Marquise Brown, you also got Zach Ertz, I think you've got some quality tight ends there. You got you're 4 deep at tight ends or 3 deep or whatever. So, they've got some good players. I think, defensively, it's just a tough day. There was a lot of things where a lot of missed tackles by the defense. I don't feel bad in saying that the defense was a fizz out when you talk about the fact that the Chiefs could score at will pretty much the entire game, no matter who it was. And I don't care if a player had a specific game or played well. You didn't have a single sack on Patrick Mahomes. He was able to sit back there and do his thing, and that's just a tough task for anybody to be able to come in and be disruptive. So the entire defense, I don't care what kind of grade everybody has. Even if somebody had an 80.0, it doesn't matter. From top to bottom, the Chiefs were able to do what they wanted. And so I think for the Arizona Cardinals, they're a good team. The Cardinals, in my mind, are still a playoff team, but it is going to be a tough road to hoe these last 5 games without Nuke. And once he does come back, if they can at least get to 3-3, or at least stay around 500, I think they've got a shot to make the playoffs. But man, it's just rough coming out week 1 against the Chiefs, who are, in my mind, they are arguably the team to beat in the AFC, at least at this point. But that's it. That's our latest edition of Standouts and Fizzouts for the Kansas City Chiefs versus Arizona Cardinals. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys also like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. And let us know what you guys think. Did we miss any standouts or fizzouts? Let us know in the comment section down below about that. And also let us know what kind of pop or soda you guys drink, because it's the greatest thing since sliced bread, because again, standouts and fizz out. So but at the end of the day, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our latest edition of standouts and fizz outs for the Kansas City Chiefs versus Arizona Cardinals matchup.